So we will go next to Relvoi. He was sending me his PV like on Wednesday, and since then I haven't watched it, even though I said I want to watch it. I'm sorry, Relvoi, but here we are. Okay, so when Relvoi doesn't have any audio, we probably want to create our own audio. Yo, Shilane, it's all right, dude. If you have to leave, and thank you for being here. Thank you for saying that the things I did were helpful for you. I really do hope they were helpful for you. Thank you again a lot for all the money you dropped on me and that you gifted me, Hollow Knight and stuff. And thank you for being a part of our community. I hope your money is not wasted on me. Like, I really do hope that it's all fine for you. Like, you throw a ton of money at me, and I feel like maybe my stream is not as valuable as people like paid for it yet. But I will do my best. So yeah, have fun on whatever you will do now. I think that will be something we will be able to handle. So yeah, don't worry. So I'm getting again hungry, sort of. I'm always getting hungry. I have a donut here and I probably will eat it now. It's Phoenix. What do you expect from a top 5 runner? Yeah, but with nerfs, it might be like hard as hell. So here I have my lovely tasty donut, and I wanna stop the heater to heat because it's getting pretty hot in my room. I will close the heater and I will open the window for like 5 minutes or something. So after city or something, I will close it again. So yeah, own music we need. I mean, I probably do have how loud is it? Not so loud. Okay, so we will listen to that, and we will make it a little bit more quiet, to be honest, because it should be like something added. So if the music is too quiet or too loud, tell me. Yo, Jelly, how are you doing? We are currently doing some analyze stuff. We analyzed already 2 runs today, and we are going to analyze Relvoi's run as a final run today. I really did enjoy the analysis, analyzing and coaching people. Even though the first run took way too long. I need to figure out to not take so much time for a single run. But besides that, I really want to do this more in the future. How are you, Jelly? City is really a chapter you don't have that much time to improve. Like, I don't really recommend newer people to practice city because it's like not the greatest chapter to save time. So we will start in a little bit. I just don't want to eat while analyzing, to be honest. Avoiding practicing resort. Like, I feel you. When I was starting out, I was like, resort is like the worst shit in the world. I don't wanna play that anymore. Nowadays, I'm sort of fine with it. Freaking I love prescription for sleep though. And yo, Gramby, I hope you find what I did helpful. Yo, the same is for me, Jelly. Like, I loved Resort as a casual chapter. I like the aesthetic of it, the story of it. I loved it, everything of it. I hope you can hear the music. You already don't donate, dude. You're donating. You donated a bunch of money, and you are a subscriber. Like, just a subscriber would be worth enough for me to analyze your runs, dude. So, technically, if you want to spend something, like, you don't have to. But if people enjoy it, what I do, then I will maybe, like, when people enjoy it, what I do, and when I'm good enough at analyzing, I will probably, like, say, like, dude, pay for it. But for now, I'm in such a good mood, I got too much money already, so I will analyze everything. I feel like we need to make the music a little bit more quiet. I don't know. We will start the run now. So this is Relvoi playing. And because you were asking about Relvoi, are you actually here? Is Relvoi here? Like, it wouldn't make sense to analyze Relvoi's run if he's not here. Yes, he is here. Okay. So, one thing about prologue skip, as long as you are on the newest version, you can just, like, pause and skip it like every other cutscene. And it saves 15 seconds. As long as you are playing on the newest version. So that means when you jump here, you can just pause and skip. Yeah, it's a new thing. They patched it into the game because there was somebody who found a frame perfect way to skip it, and the developers just said, okay, we will build it into the game. I like it. How you turned yourself offline. Minor thing, just saying. I will say you everything, I know this. When you are up here and you do an extended hyper, you can get to the other platform without dashing a second time. because when you hyper and do a horizontal dash, you will technically lose speed. So try to do the most delayed, biggest jump hyper dash off of the platform you're like right above, and you will get to the other platform, and then you can just jump and dash upwards, because that dash forward you're doing there is slowing you down by just a little bit. It's not that much, but at a certain point you wanna like be as optimized as possible. I just say you everything. Like I don't really. It's not that important, dude. But just saying. You tried there the hyper dash, but was not getting it. It's okay. Also going for a diagonal dash, dude. Interesting. Solid, better than me normally. Like as I said to you, your biggest weak points are your late game, like your reflection and your summit. You really need to work on that, and maybe a little bit of your ridge. But yeah, we will consider that. Yeah, then don't do it. There you can go also for just like when the zipper. When this zipper launches you upwards, you can just jump, dash upwards. I don't even know if you dash upwards. I think you do. Jump, dash upwards, and then jump off the left wall and do off of that wall jump, wave dash. It's a little faster. Like I see you messed that up something, but just to tell you, if you didn't know yet. You also go for this strat, interesting. Maybe I should do this too. Here you can go for a wall bounce, it's minimalistically faster. I mean, your city has been as fast as my cities are. That's solid, like just these minor things. Sometimes you stop in weird positions. Yeah, you're not on the newest patch yet. You need to patch your Celeste to 1.something6. Something with 6. 1.2.6, I don't know. I don't know the patch name. But yeah, that city wasn't too bad, to be honest. As I said, you sometimes... Okay, that was not optimal at all. The thing with a diagonal dash upwards is that you're more airborne, and more airborne means being slower. So what I recommend you to do is, like, when you're hyper dashing there, you can bunny hop a second time and just onto the platform, or dash horizontal, but don't dash diagonal like this. Like I will show you real quick. Not on my casual file. So here, there are two ways you can do this. The one way is doing hyper, horizontal dash downwards. That's what I do. It's like 1 second faster than probably your upwards dash. And the other thing you could do is just do a bunny hop here and dash downwards. These are like the two options, because the problem is if you like do a diagonal upwards dash here, you see I'm airborne, I fall down slowly, it's just slower, you just lose a second probably here by doing that on its own. And like, that's like, you probably do things like this everywhere in the run, and if you put it all together, you probably save like a minute already, or half a minute, like 30 seconds. You definitely will save time if you do these little minor mistakes, take it out. Like, yeah, just saying. But it's not too bad, to be honest. You were not that much slower. You were probably only 0.5 seconds slower. Okay. I don't know which is faster there, but you can go there for an ultra dash. I will show you. Oh, I didn't switch over. Okay, never mind. There was not that much specially going on. Sorry. Like, I just analyzed till you got to the mirror and a little bit beyond. So when you fall down here, blah blah blah, you were doing great. Like, everything looked fantastic. You didn't die. You did the skip. But then for the strategy here, what I do, I think it's faster, is you do a hyper dash through the dream block, then another hyper dash after the dream block into a wave, into an ultra dash. I need to make the music more quiet. So it will look like this. Oh, never mind. And that's probably a little bit faster than what you were doing. And it's not too hard. And then you can maybe considering here a wall bounce, even though I was not getting it. But that's just like super minor. Is the chat dead though? Have I done something wrong? Okay, good. Were you doing there the horizontal dash? I see. You might want to consider learning the diagonal dash. It's like a 1 second time save. We talked earlier about it if you didn't miss it. If you want me to talk once more about it, I can do this. Oh, you're doing, wow, the wall ones look really sick. Need to do that maybe. Then you are probably doing it wrong. I will explain it just for you once more. You're doing the same strat as Granby, so that's okay. Oh, what was that? That was weird. You wanna consider fast falling there. It's just something you need to get used to. Okay, here you are doing something super slow. I will show you my strat. You were also like, I told you earlier about the ultra dash there. So yeah. What you technically can do is like, yeah, like the ultra dash is something you might want to look at. And yeah, that awake section is not the greatest. So, should I record it again for you? Because I will upload all of this to YouTube and will like write down as a title Relvoi Celeste Analyze. So I explained it already in Granby, a few things like in where we're explaining Granby's run. But if you want me to do this again, I can show you again a wake section, so you just have all of it in one video. You know what? I will do it anyway. You don't have to tell me to do it. So, a few things. First of all, that diagonal dash thing. You wanna get into it around like here, like around here. You wanna get into the dream block. And you want to dash immediately out of the dream block again, every time. So there you go. Oh, thank you. So here, in this room, you wanna go for the diagonal dash around like here. Somewhere around this. You don't have to be precise. But the thing is, you wanna dash immediately. Every time. So what I mean by that, I show you once how it's done correctly. That was all immediately. And now done wrong. You see how I landed on the ground? And like I was getting out of the dream block like somewhere here, but I'm now here. So what happens then is I die. But if I dash immediately again, all the time, then I get in here. And then you just wanna do a wall jump and dash this, like this. And it's like not that hard at all. It should look in the end like this. I hope that helps. So for your Madeline, and for your Madeline section, you looked actually good. Like, don't do this. Jump. Like you do. He did the wall bounce, that looked really good though. It's probably faster than just jumping up there normally. So, your strat here looked good. It's probably better than mine, so yeah. But your battling room, like your last battling room, that was not so good. So just watch what I do and try to copy it. Like, yeah, just do it. Ah, never mind. Give me a second try. Fast fall all the time here. And then you wanna do this. And don't miss the coin. Sometimes you miss the coin, I don't know why. You might have a problem with it, you might have no problem with it. But it's a lot faster than just casually walking down there like you did. Like this. And then you do this, and then you dash here, and fine. That's like... I'm not fast enough to hyper to the coin and back. Then learn to be as fast. Like, it's not that hard. I need to restart the chapter. I need to restart the entire battle section to get there again. It's not that hard. The only hard part about it is getting the coin, I would say. And just work on your movement. If you're not getting it, it's just because of your movement is not good enough yet. But you will get there, I'm pretty sure. Oh, come on, can we please... Can we please get this? There we go. Okay, that was not working out for me. So yeah, what I want you to do is to fast fall all the way here. And then to do this properly. So what you want to do is you dash, jump into the dream block, and like extend the dash jump into the dream block, dash through it. Jump out of the dream block, do a wave dash to the right, and you will stop in front of the dream block, dash downwards, do a hyper dash to the coin and a normal dash backwards. Jump, dash, through the dream block, jump, diagonal dash, hyper dash, hyper dash. That's technically what you want to do. And it looks like this. Hopefully I will get it. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard at all. And then the other thing is like the bench trick. Like I talked about when we were analyzing Granby for the Ultra. So you stand around the bench like here. Thank you, Battlein. And then you do, like you see where I stand, and then you do the hyper. And for the awake section, I will just show you mine. It's not, I wouldn't say mine is too advanced, but maybe it's just because I'm so used to it. Like I can talk even with it, to be honest. Let's talk while doing it. So hyper, 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 bunny hop, hyper, 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 bunny hop, hyper, hyper, corner boost, hyper, ultra, bunny hop, normally, hyper, bunny hop, hyper, 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 diagonal dash, hyper, bunny hop, till they go. Just do what I did, and that's like, that should be a good awake section for you. That will be a decent upgrade to what you were doing. or just figure out your own way. I don't want you, if you don't get this correctly, I want you to just sit down and figure out ways you can do this section. Because, like, you're on a level where optimizing things like that becomes important, but it's not like the end of the world if you're not super optimized. So if you're not comfortable going for what I'm going for, like if you just don't get it correctly done, then you can just figure out your own strats and do it the way you like it and that fits to you. Like just test around in it and you will be fine, I guess. So yeah, let's continue. You at least, like, you saved 7 seconds off your PB. Like that 207 is not too bad. Hyper into ultra cancel is something I talked about while analyzing Granby. You might want to consider that at a certain point. But it's not the most important thing you should be looking at. Okay, you were going for a different way of the teach strategy, so that's totally fine if it's working for you out. You're for some reason 3 seconds slower than me already, but whatever. I think that's fine. Or not 3 seconds, maybe 2. But honestly, from your end time, your reflection and your result was pretty good. I don't know which is faster there. Like if wall jumping back and forth is faster or what you did. Maybe we need to time that. Nice strat. That music though, by the way. When you go for an extended dash jump here, skip the second crystal. So when you get an extended dash jump, now just dash forward and you will be fine. It is minorly faster. Like it's not the most important thing. Like just dash horizontally and not diagonal. Okay, that use mass was a little bit of a problem. Just watch what I do and try to learn it. Like mine is not the most optimal at by far, but it's like very simple. I don't know if that was faster, but it looked fancy. Nice. Getting the spike jump first try. So far it's just your movement that's like setting us apart in this chapter. So you're doing a good job. Like stuff like this, that was not movement optimal. Like you were preparing for strats, but you were not going for it immediately, so you were not really saving time. You might want to consider not doing that anymore and look for something more simple that you don't need to set up that much, or you learn that hard, like sort of advanced strat to do immediately. Because that's so far the only thing that's costing your time if you compare yourself to myself. Were you going for the cycle skip? I was not paying really attention to it. No. You don't need to go for cycle skip. You might want to consider it once you get sub 36, 35. It's a 2-second time step, or maybe a little bit more. Yeah, so do you know how to do it properly? Like once you're here, do a hyperdash of the platform and do a hyperdash of the key platform, and then, yeah. Okay, good. I was wondering if you know it or not. Yo, you go for the ultra, that's really nice. That's really good. Do you go for demo dash? We will find out. He is. But he failed. It once. It twice. Nice. Maybe you want to work on your demo dash. I don't know how like consistent you are with them. Maybe that's something you want to consider. There you can like skip this cycle, like going over the dust bunny. It's like not too bad, but just saying. That horizontal dash is diagonal dash is okay. You're not Granby level who needs to optimize every little shit. That room was a little slow, but I guess it's fine. You might want to look what I do. Or what, I don't know, crazy people do. But my strat is very similar to yours, it's just like a little bit more smoother, you know? Yeah, that's the same for me, dude. That's why the dash is so good for me. Okay. Do you have a death cycle for that room? It's interesting. Do you want to get a death cycle and a transition cycle for that room from me or not? Because that death cycle looked a little harder than mine, but it's not slower. In the end, you are still as fast as I am. So I can't really complain about that, to be honest. You think you are good, okay, good. Like the transition cycle, you can do what Flat is doing, or what I'm doing. Like I'm doing an easier version of Flat strat. And death cycle, you can just do what I tried to teach She-Lane. Like, as I said, our death cycles are exactly the same speed-wise, but mine looks a little easier. Because you go super tightly over the dust bunny wall. So, I don't know. Just saying what I'm thinking about. Okay, we wanna see everything. Okay, that looked good. That looks not so great though. That looked interesting. Like, probably it was just in this run, but I hope normally your movement is good. Or better. In that beginning of the third room. How can I understand this? Bad but good chapter 4. Nice, you go for the horizontal dash already. It took me ages to do that. I don't know if this was faster, but it looked fancy. You might want to go for the consistency over these spikes. I like to do the wall bounce at the end.
Okay, that was not at all optimal. Just go out and watch what I do, as always. Double wall bounce, nice. Auto score skip, are you going for the ultra already? You're going for the old strat, it's fine. This looks also fine. You might want to consider going, like, honestly, I said on which chapters you might want to improve, so I'm not really criticizing these early chapters. Like that climbing, for example, was like that was not worth and needed at all. So stuff like this you might want to start to avoid. You might want to, when you play, think about your movement, and you want to think about it needs to be as optimal as possible, or as productive as possible, if that makes any sense. So you don't want to like spend stupid climbing around. Just get a little bit more familiar with the game, so stuff like this won't happen.
I mean, it probably did happen to me too, but you know, just stuff that you might want to think about. No. What I mean, Jelly, by this is I know his chapter times, and I said he should improve at chapter 6 and 7. That's why I really don't see a point in criticizing every little bit in these early chapters, because technically they are good for his time, but they are not optimal. Like, there's a lot of room to improve. Okay, if you want to go for that, okay. That's something we need to talk about. If you want to go for that skip, then do it correct. If not, don't go for it. And what you did is more of a case for not going for it. So I will show you the right way. As always. And yeah. So you might want to go here for 2 hypers, like hyper. The first hyper has to be the most high, needs to be a full jump hyper. But yeah, that's like stuff you might want to look into it, but you don't really need it. Here, like, look how fast I do this, and look how slow you did this room. Like, these are minor things, you just need to get better at your strategies. But this will come with IL practice and just doing runs. Like, you were also, like, ducking at all, you just don't need that. Oh no. Okay. Then everything is fine. Yo, Adam, I will read your message in a bit. Yo, wait. That was unreal. That was unreal. Okay, I need to rewatch that myself. But yeah, now this room. If you want to skip the cycle, you need to do it correct. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Like how you did it, it's not worth it all. It's more riskier than anything. It's not faster at all. Alright, I figured out how to do some acid skip, and my time is down to 2:08. Dude, you're crazy. Okay, so what you want to do in this room? You want to actually skip the wind cycle, because what you were doing is like you don't go to the bubble, but you're also not skipping the wind cycle. So you're technically at the same speed, but way riskier and probably slower. So when you get into this room, you just want to like get to that spring, and you want to get up here before the wind starts to blow again. Because before the wind starts to blow again, you want to be already in that bubble. And then you do this. So what the secret of this is, when you are in the bubble, you dash immediately diagonal when the wind is already blowing. but you delay your up dash by a little bit, so the wind pushes you like perfectly aligned to the wall. I will show it you once more, so you see how much I delay it. So no, fuck. So you see, I'm getting up here, and I delayed my jump there a little bit, and then you do get a wall bounce off of that, and that's exactly how you want to play that room. Otherwise, it's not worth it, go for the casual strat. But if you wanna do the cycle skip, it's like one wind cycle faster, I don't know how much that is, then you need to do it this way. So yeah, Adam, we might wanna race then when I learned the speed game too, I guess. So don't get too much ahead of me, please. Okay, here you wanna do hyper dashes and not dash jumps. Like off of these bricks, you wanna do hyper dashes. You wanna do full hop hyper dash at the beginning, full hop hyper dash at the first break, and full hop hyper dash at the second break. You do it where dash jumps into diagonal dashes means more airborne, less speed, just slower. I don't know yet, Gramby. That's fine for you, like you're not at high level, you don't need to skip that block yet. That strat looks interesting, but it seems like it will evolve for you over time. If you need a new strat in this room, just look what I do in the past, like not worth going under it, but still going over it in the end. You want to skip it, but you don't know how, I will show you in a bit. Then I will show you also the other strats. It seems like, do you get to the bubble? Like, do you know how to get to the bubble in that room when you do the wall bounce? It's like, in order to skip the block, you need to fast fall. Ouch, that was unfortunate death. But overall it was fast. Or, okay. So I will show you a few things. Okay, I will just show you my heavy wind section, so you can learn from it. So here, hyper. Oh, what? Excuse me. Hyper. Long jump, full hop, hypers. I never let go of jump in between the hypers. Oh, fuck me. I forget it all the time. Okay, I will go back again. So we are here. We do. No, we are not here. Apparently. So we are here. We do hyper, full hop hyper. You never let go of jump in between those hypers. Here you wanna, like I do, dash forward, fast fall. So once, like on transition, it's a lot harder than on death cycle. So I will show you a death cycle. So I dashed twice forward, and once I dashed off the block, I consistently hold right and down. I hold right and down since ever I'm dashed off the block. And then you do an immediate cloud jump and go to the bubble. Like I hold down all the time, and that's just the magic. Then here, like you just maybe wanna copy and paste this. Like you were technically doing what I do, but you were goofing around all the time. Here, this is an easy strat. Like you can do it with a high wave dash off of here, but this is sometimes hard. Maybe you wanna get into this position and then you do an extended hyper dash and go under it. It saves a lot of time because look how slow this is. This is so slow, and now look how fast this is. It's so much faster. In the next room, you might want to consider learning a new strat. There are technically two strats, the teach strat and the bye-bye strat. That's how I call them. I use the bye-bye strat. It's something more advanced, but if you feel like you need to improve your next room, then go for it. I really don't recommend it to you for now, but that's just something to give you an idea. Okay, never mind, I fucked it up. But yeah, that was technically the strat you might want to do in this room. Like, you can also go with something super simple like this, I don't know. Oh, come on. Not this. Like, you can go for this. And it works fine. Like, it is full hop hyper, short hop hyper, dash, full hop hyper, climb, ultra into the bubble. The other thing you could do there is like the bye-bye strat. Then there's also the teach strat, but I have no idea how the teach strat actually looks like. Or like, I know how it looks like, but I have no idea how to do it. So the bye-bye strat is you do it from here. You do a hyper, extended hyper. You jump up there, and then you hyper dash off of that small platform and ultra dash onto the third platform. So it looks like this. Ah, come on. Why am I not getting it? And then you do this. It's a lot faster, but it's super advanced, so you don't really need to go for this. And then here, like, delay your dash upwards a little bit, and you're fine. Or delay your jump. On PC version, you can also delay your jump. On Switch version, that's not really available. So yeah, that's technically what you want to do in heavy wind section. But besides that, like, you were doing actually really good. Like, that was a decent ridge for your time. Like, for your time, this ridge was good enough already. But just to give you an idea what you might want to work at. Ah. I like that you want to try to go for the horizontal. The vertical. You might want to consider the yeet there. Do you know how it works? Or do I need to show it to you? Like, I can't do the full yeet, but I can show you the initial part of it that saves still a lot of time. There you have it. Don't wait here. Okay, that's fine, dude. Might want to consider it around 35, 36, to be honest. But you have time to that point yet. That was A good seeker room. Oh, nice. Like, so far you're on a better pace than me, so I can't really complain about anything here. You're also using most of the same strats I'm using. Yo, that ultra. I don't know if it's faster, but it looked sick. You might... What? PC version is so busted, holy fuck, man. A little slower than my best paces in this chapter, but it's fine. Yo, the PC version is so good. By the way, the core, this is for you, Grimby, because you said you loved this remix. Nice. I hope it's not too quiet for you guys. Okay, you might want to consider the wall bounces in this room, like in the previous one. Okay. Yeah. Watch my old runs or my current runs. I never really updated Theo section till this day. If you wanna see some strats for it. But besides that, your fear movement is not too bad. It just seems like that in some rooms you have no idea of a strat, so you do nothing. Or maybe you just messed it up. That can also be the case. But honestly, you're not too bad. Like, your pace is really good, but it's just your late game that's not the greatest, I guess. Okay, dude. Fear ultras are things that I never learned. Oh no, I know what's coming. Never mind, you saved really well. Yo, you do all ultras here, that's crazy. That last room, but you haven't really practiced that last room. Okay, if you want to use ultras here, then, or hypers, then figure out a way how to get through that room. Good. That's all I want from you. Like, if you use hyper dashes there, then figure out a good way to go through the last room. That's something I can't explain because I don't do hypers there. Yeah, the sax sounds so amazing, dude. I should learn that instrument again. Okay, dash jump into upwards dash saves a second. Just saying. You can get immediately to the feather if your movement is tight enough. But wait, you play on keyboard? Okay, then it's okay that you're messing that up, I think. Maybe? I don't know. Like, keyboard movement is so hard. Leg skip, I can't really say anything about that, I don't do it. Because it's unavailable for me. Ouch. Yeah. Yeah, don't die in these easy rooms. Okay, this is one thing you might want to learn. Is the hyperdash off the cabin block into skipping the block at the bottom. That's something you might want to consider to learn. I will just show you. Like, I mean, you can't do it, then practice it. Like, what is the particular problem you have with that trick? Like, even if the cabin block still stops, it's like worth a shot, as long as you don't die. You might want to consider a dash jump here. But that's a little tight, though. That the block stops, then you need to do it earlier. Like, I feel like I do it in a very different way than most people. But I will just show you my way. So, I stand somewhere in the middle. And once I'm under the spikes, I do this. And it's sometimes working and sometimes not. Oh, and sometimes I just jump under the block. Like this. Hello. I'm not a good teacher, I'm sorry. Come on. Like, you probably know how it looks like, so it's technically pointless to show it to you. But yeah, just analyze how top runners are doing it and try to copy and paste. Oh, now we didn't activate the block, otherwise it probably would have worked. Come on. It's probably right. There we go. I do it way too early all the time. And I can't stop my rhythm right now. It's so hard for me in my brain. I hate going under it. Going under it feels like the worst thing in the world. Yeah, whatever. Stand on the right. Yeah. Exactly, Granby. But yeah, you might want to consider stuff like this. But that's probably not the problem of your reflection. I like that. You stop way too much. You can float into the feather. It's a little risky. But once you figure out how to do it, it's really good. You can go there for the wall bounce. It saves a little bit. Like, your pace is for whatever reason already like sort of worse compared to mine. Like 5 seconds slower than, or like not 5 seconds, even more than my best pace ever. That shouldn't be the case. Like, it's probably just again your movement, which needs to be like upgraded, but that comes over time most of the time. Just you stop sometimes in random motions. You climb walls you totally don't have to climb. Skip the second bumper. You know how to do that, right? You probably do, but it was just not working this time. Oh fuck, it was too early. Now it starts, I think. No, it takes still. Freaking music. Like, you enter with 302, that's not too bad. But there's definitely, like, there should definitely be the room to enter with 250, 240. Okay, that was super slow. Go over it, not under it, you know, if you want the checkpoint. But you might want to consider not getting the checkpoint at all. And just whisk it. Just learn the room, like play it over and over. Now the sax is playing. I love it. More tinier jumps there, but overall was a good attempt. Like, honestly, your reflection doesn't look that bad strat-wise, but for whatever reason it's a 7 something. That shouldn't be the case. You probably died a bunch in the end. Like, that was an unnecessary death, of course. You wanna do there a tiny jump, not a full jump, so you don't get stuck on the corner. Just in case that you might not know. That's fine for you. Oh, interesting hyper. I like it. Yeah, that was a lot slower. If you do this, I want you to go over the block, under the block. So here, dash at the very bottom of the room, so you land on the blue block at the bottom, and then you can do a dash jump off of that and get sometimes a corner boost. It's a little faster, most likely. That's feather section in a nutshell by keyboard players, so I can't really say about that. Just, you need a lot of extra time to get good at feathers, just because you play with keyboard. Okay, you died how often in the last few rooms? Oh, we are not even there. Never mind, I was already way too much ahead. Because otherwise that would have been a godlike pace that would have been destroyed by the last 2 rooms. Oh. Don't go for the reverse typer, it's a lie. People say it's not faster. Like, don't go for this threat. Phoenix said it's not faster. And I believe in Phoenix a lot. Just go in between the spikes. Like, dash in between and then do a dash jump out of it. Ouch. Do you know how exactly that works? Technically what you want to do in this room, once the block moved a little bit, like to the middle, you just do a hyper dash forward and press dash and jump sort of immediately. Like dash, like a tiny little bit before that. Like you press dash, and while you're already pressing dash, you press jump, like just a little bit after it, and you will get it. And what you did looked a little weird, but it still worked out, but you died once of it, so maybe you wanna think over it. Here you might wanna consider the Granby strat, which is, I'm pretty, lazy to show it right now because it's just this one room. So you hit her there. You wanna stay a little bit in the air, and you just wanna do a wave dash off the first block, which will lead into a wave dash off of the third block into Battlein. If you want me to show it, I can still show it. But that's the Granby strat, you might want to consider doing that. Don't diagonal dash there. Okay, good. It saves like 3 seconds or something. Or 2. Most likely, more likely 2. Fast fall there, like you really need to work on your fast falling. Don't hyper into this room. It's as long as you're not a really good player who knows how to move around with Madeline, it's not worth it. Just walk into the room. I do walk into the room. And oh fuck, what? Don't go for crazy things if you don't know how to do them. Like, you probably did learn it. But then I asked myself, why do you, like, go for strats like this? Like, what I recommend you is... Okay, here looks all fine. When you get here, you with a horizontal dash, you dash, like, from the biggest part of the green platform. Like, the third layer from the top. Like the part where you can easily do an extended dash jump off. You do a dash jump off of that, like of that part like you do there. Dash upwards. And when you are here on that platform, you just dash forward on the more left side of it. So you get your dash back and then you dash forward again on the trampolines. And that should be fine for you till you hit like 610 in reflection. Like this is not really fast. So I don't actually know why your reflection is so bad time-wise, because strategy-wise, it's very similar to what I do, and it shouldn't like be to a minute slower than what I do. It shouldn't be at all. So maybe you want to learn a little bit of a new strats. Like you want your reflection to be at least sub 7. And when you're on a good pace, I want your reflection to be around 630, 640. Go out and watch reflection time you like on the IL leaderboard. And just look what they do and learn from them. That's all I can say to you in this chapter. And like, I see you lose a lot of time here. So it was probably just a bad reflection on that day. But you want your reflection to be consistent because reflection is one of the most punishing chapters in the game. I also need to work on my consistency in that chapter, which I'm currently doing. And I would consider you to get at least 630 if you're really good. If you have a really good reflection. And at least sub 7 every time. I don't get it every time. Your best reflection is 729. Okay, I want you at least to get sub 7. And 640 should be like a godlike reflection, and once you're at this point, like you can stay, you can leave it like that for a while. Yeah. Like, what was the death count? Hello, I pressed back. Like 6 deaths. You had 6 deaths. And you got still, like, you had 6 deaths and you got a 734. Like, it's really just movement, it seems like, and a few strats. Costly deaths, yeah, you died once in the last room. But yeah, still, just watch a better reflection, like watch a reflection around 620, 630, 640 and copy and paste every strat you find in there. Or combine their strats with yours. And work on 7-minute reflections at least. Like, yeah, watch any reflection you like. Just something that's not too crazy. And then work with it. Yeah, your summit was like, what, 11 something? Yo, what is the problem, Phoenix? I'm getting exhausted, my head is like bumming. Why were you not getting it there? Yo. No, what did I clicked? Fuck. Okay, I wanna know why you were not getting this thread. That is good. That is good too. Okay. Yeah. Okay, if you wanna go up there, you need to do the hyperdash from the previous room. I'm getting tired, dude. It's like only 9 PM here. We started 3 PM. So, oh fuck, I missed the point where I need to tell you stuff. So, when you are getting on that platform on the right, you want to land on that platform, not already on the next screen. Then you do a tiny jump hyper into a bunny hop, and then you can skip the springs. It is super hard to skip the springs from this room. It's super hard, it's super tight, it's my opinion. So what I want you to do is just do the hyper from the previous room, or don't skip the springs. It's not that much slower if you skip the springs, to be honest. If you don't skip the springs. Here you might want to consider another hyper, but that's fine. Yeah, like technically you just want to watch mid 36 runners, mid 37 runners, and get an idea of what they are doing. Because honestly, strat-wise, you're looking not too bad. It's just like you die sometimes in weird ways. That's something you need to work on. And you sometimes are just full stopping. It seems like you don't know what to do, or just something random happens. Like you just got a random idea where you were randomly climbing a wall or stopping or crouching, where it was like there was no point in doing that. And that's costing you a lot of time over the run. Because strat-wise, you're not like that far away from me. Like, of course, in the earlier chapters, I found a lot of rooms where I do a faster strat than yours. But that was like, your earlier chapters were looking great, to be honest, like for your skills. So that's something I don't want to like pin down on you. Maybe work on your reflection summit and on your Golden Ridge. Like Golden Ridge had some awful parts. Like Golden Ridge should be free sub 330 all the time. That should be for free. And even I'm not getting it, but sub 330 should be like doable every time for you. Or not every time, but 70% of the times. And sub 4 should be doable every time. But yeah, this summit, like thread-wise, looks pretty good so far. Just like you died sometimes, and you probably the only thing you need is to play more summits. Like play more summits. But wait, you were the person who says he's playing a lot of ILs, right? Like, how nervous were you during that summit? How nervous were you during the run in total? Tell me. I need to know that. You wasn't? Then I have actually no idea why your summit was so bad. But man, we haven't watched yet anything. But so far you are strat-wise not too far behind me. Then you might need to practice like full runs in order to prepare your hands for it. But yeah, your pace is like 20 seconds behind mine, maybe just because of deaths or like, I don't know, minor movement mistakes. Like, honestly, I have not that much to analyze here so far. I feel very terrible for it. I hope I helped you so far, but I feel like I didn't. Okay, yeah, that was an unfortunate death. You die like in so many weird ways. That's not really good. you wanna learn to avoid that. Yo, you go even for the ultra strat here, but then you stop here. That makes no sense. If you go for the ultra strat there, you should go for the full ultra strat. Which burn? Then you might want to consider learning the strat I'm using. Or just, like, you need to learn it. I like that you go for the wall bounce there. Yo, the corner boost in 3A is ridiculous, to be honest. Like, only flat and teach are allowed to go for it. I mean, it's called it's called test strat for a reason. It's fine, Phoenix. You're also a top runner. Okay, you died twice on auto-scroll escape. That's not the best. WTF. I feel ya. Oh, Granby, please. But yeah, the main thing you should be looking at is stop dying in stupid spots, improving some strats here and there a little bit, the strats I'm talking about, and just your general movement. Yeah, like your movement is like the biggest part of your time losses. Like I would say 60 to 70% of all the time you lost, or let's say 60, is because of movement flaws. And or let's say 50, and 30% is because of deaths in super stupid ways, and 20% is because of strats. Then you need to build up muscle memory. Like, how often do you think about what you need to do? And how often do you, like, do actually things? Okay, that's a weird way to do a door skip, but it's fine. Yeah, then it's just your brain and your hands are not really used yet to the fast movement. You just need to play more, it seems like. But I don't know. yeah, as Phoenix says, like what to do about movement when your brain can't handle the speed. Play more. Like I would eventually recommend you to slow yourself down in your head, but try to hit every strat you can think of, or try to hit every, like, you get in every room and you have a plan on how to get from A to B as fast as possible, but don't hesitate, but try to get it as consistent and as fast as possible, and slowly let your brain and your hands adapt to that speed. Like you said, you play a lot of ILs, so that's really surprising to me that you haven't built up yet a good amount of muscle memory. Yo, these strats are really slow. Like, all of it what you have done in downwind section was really slow so far. Do you mind me to show you some? Like, you can just watch what Phoenix showed us earlier, if that's not too high level for you. Yeah, but that downwind section is definitely something you can improve at. Like, it looked like you know the strategies, but it just seems like you were unable to get it correctly done. But that looked. Yeah, then just watch what Phoenix sent it us. I will send it to you as well, if you want to look over it. Oh, they were what wrong? I've sent you the wrong link. Phoenix, your video is the highlight, right? Interesting dash jump though. So yeah, you wanna start building up that muscle memory in order to let your brain and hands play as fast as you need it. So I want you to sit down and get like a clear vision of what strategies you want to use in each room and chapter. And I just want you to focus on getting like each room done how you want it, as like one room at a time. So for example, let's take reflection. You have every room, you have a strategy. You might want to figure out some more advanced strategies in order to get like to a higher level. Like that's something you need to do earlier or later. And once you figure that out, you play the chapter most of the times over and over again, and you focus really on your movement and that everything is like not going too fast for you. And once you got like a 6:30 in reflection and a 10:30 in summit, let it be even a 10-minute summit. Then you might want to look at other chapters. And if you feel like summit might be your bigger problem, the deaths, and reflection might be the bigger problems, like also deaths, but more of it was probably movement wise. So you just want to work on these two chapters, because these two chapters were not so great. And once you got like in both chapters a minute off, or minute 30 off, you're already at 36 minutes, somewhere around this. which is really good. And then you need to start to learn faster strats. And the one thing, because you said, you know, your hands and your brain are like, have a hard time coordinating. Like, do you have any disease? But that was one thing I saw when I watched you at that marathon you were a part of. Like, it was actually quite obvious for a Celeste runner to see that you were, like, your hand-brain coordination was such a mess. Relvoi is younger than me, quite a lot younger than me. Yeah, okay, then it's just like training you need to do. Try to work on your movement. Like, try to play mindful and play exactly the way you want it. And I mean, I don't know how I got to the point where I'm super confident with my movement, but it probably became a thing as I played the game over and over and just got super confident with my movement, because I know like, I have such a strong muscle memory that I can, like, you know, play and talk at the same time, and it's literally not that much of a difference if I shut up and play at the same time. Like, okay, when I do practice my offline, I can play really good, but I can also play really good when I'm talking. I don't want to sound dumb, but maybe it's just my head being bombarded by stress from school and just overwhelmed. Yo, that can also be the case, dude. Like, it's really, you know, for me, it's really hard to help you on that, to figure out what the problem is there. Like, I can give you suggestions, but in the end it comes down that you need to figure out what the actual problem is, and you need to figure out how to deal with it. So, yeah. But as I said, work on your summit and reflection. I want your summit to be around 10 to 10:30, and your reflection around 6:30 to 7. And once that's the case, you do your runs still from time to time. And you do your ILs as well. Like, don't do full runs only, but don't do ILs only too. Do both. Yo, Hawk, how you doing? Both is really important. And work to play mindfully in order to see it, in order to improve your movement, so you get confident with it. And yeah, once you got a 36 or a 35, or not a 35, 37, and you have like a low def count, like, what's your final def count though? Once you have a low def count and you feel like, well, that was a good run, strat wise I can't really improve it, then that's the perfect point to learn new strategies. And I want you to do that sort of, like, whenever you feel like you can't really improve, just learn harder strats overall. Like, 31 defs is not too bad at all. Like, give it a little bit, die less in summit and reflection. It could be 20 defs only. Then you know it's time to learn new strategies. Due to, like, be the thing with your movement and with your head, brain, hand coordination, I can't really tell you that much about it. I just can tell you that I noticed once I saw you on that marathon, it was quite obvious for a Celeste runner that you were not confident moving around really, but you were not doing terrible. Like, your strats are fine, and sub 40 is not too bad, but you were, like, sort of shaking in a weird way, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I hope that helped you. I feel like super terrible that I didn't really help you, that I helped, like, Sheelane and Granby a lot more than I helped you. But I still hope you did enjoy it and that you will learn something from it. I will upload this to YouTube in a bit. If there's any strat you want me to show you, I can do this. Like, I haven't showed you that much. But technically, that's because your strats are all fine. It's just like you lose in every room, or like in every second room, like in weird ways and matters time that like makes your run not being a good run yet. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you very much. Next run you're gonna analyze is a run where I have a... Yeah, like, just come to me in a month again. When you have, I don't know, a 36 or 37. And then we will probably see a bigger difference between your movement from now than then. Like, work on your movement and work on dying less. And work on your sometimes weirdly, stupidly moving around. That's like the only things you need to look at. Because strat-wise, you're doing really good. Like, strat-wise, you can get easily 36 something, I will say. Like, work on these strats in the earlier chapters I talked